Please stand. For their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Sir David Gascoigne.
Taia tēnei momo taia tēnā momo whakamānawatia. Whakamānawatia te toki atu, whakamānawatia te rau orongo o i whiwhia. O i whiwhia te tohu, o i rawea te tohu, o i tamaua te tohu, taumata rautia te tohu, haumi e, hui e, tai e.
I ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā iwi o te motu e kuikui nei. Tēnei aku mihi mahana ki a koutou. Kia ora tātou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai rā ki te whare kawana. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings to you all and welcome to Government House. I specifically acknowledge our kuia Dr. Hiria Hape and our kaumātua Professor Piri Shasha. Tēnā kōrua. It's a real pleasure to host this investiture ceremony and bring together 10 honour recipients along with their family and friends to recognise the contributions they've made to our country. As Governor-General, I have the authority and the privilege on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold an investiture for her and to confer the honours to which each recipient is entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, as each one is honoured, I invite you to join with me in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Ward Kamal will now read the citations and summon the recipients. Thank you.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Dame Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Distinguished Professor Dame Margaret Brimble of Auckland for services to science. Distinguished Professor Dame Margaret Brimble has made world-class contributions to research in medicinal chemistry and has been a key driver of the creation of a nascent drug discovery and development industry in New Zealand. Dame Margaret is Chair of Organic Chemistry and Director of Medicinal Chemistry at the University of Auckland. She discovered the drug candidate NNZ2566, named trofinetide by the World Health Organization, which is currently in phase 3 human clinical trials for treatment of Rett syndrome and Fragile X syndrome. She established New Zealand's first good manufacturing practice peptide active pharmaceutical ingredient manufacturing facility that was licensed by MedSafe New Zealand and produced clinical-grade antigens for the Melvac melanoma vaccine trial in 2014. She is Principal Investigator in the Maurice Wilkins Centre for Molecular Discovery. She was Chair of the Royal Society of New Zealand Rutherford Foundation from 2009 till 2016. She was supported and has supported the L'Oreal UNESCO Women in Science programme. Since 2014, she's held the roles of Vice President and President of the Organic and Biomolecular Division International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, RUPAC. She has been a panel member of the European Research Council Synthetic Chemistry and Materials Science Advanced Grant Scheme since 2015. In 2018, Dame Margaret was the first New Zealand woman to be elected Fellow of the Royal Society, London. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Margaret Bedggood of Auckland, for services to human rights law. Margaret Bedggood has been a member of the International Executive Committee of Amnesty International, Chair of the Human Rights Foundation of New Zealand, and Chief Commissioner of the Human Rights Commission. She was Dean of the University of Waikato School of Law and is currently an Honorary Professor of Law. She tutors in international human rights law in the University of Oxford's Department of Continuing Education. She has been a visiting fellow at Kellogg College, University of Oxford. She was part of the Refugee Council of New Zealand. She is a trustee of the Aotearoa New Zealand Peace and Conflict Studies Centre. Professor Bedggood co-edited Law into Action, Economic, Social and Cultural Rights in Aotearoa New Zealand and International Human Rights Law in Aotearoa New Zealand. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Murray Fenton of Auckland, for services to design and business. Murray Fenton is the founder, sole owner and managing director of Adept, New Zealand's leading plastic injection moulding company. He developed Adept by constructing an injection moulding machine in his backyard and grew the company to employ more than 100 people with an annual revenue of $25 million. Adept began by manufacturing products for the meat industry and has been a long-time contract manufacturer for other New Zealand companies such as Fisher & Paykel Healthcare. Adept's beef clip remains the meat industry standard, having sold more than 2 billion units worldwide. Mr. Fenton also developed and manufactured a lens case for the Fred Hollows Foundation. Products made by Adept, including Starboard, a carbon fibre adjustable arm support product for radial artery access medical procedures, have received multiple industry awards. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Luisa Avaiki of Auckland, for services to rugby league. Luisa Avaiki is New Zealand's Rugby League's Wellbeing and Women's Development Manager. She was the first appointed head coach for the Warriors side in the inaugural NRL women's competition. Previously, she was captain of the Richmond Roses women's team and an Auckland Rugby League representative and captain. She played for the Kiwi Ferns and captained the team to victory in 3 Women's Rugby League World Cup tournaments. She has represented Samoa in rugby league, touch rugby, rugby sevens and rugby union. Ms. Avaiki has been head coach for several Richmond Rovers teams and was the Melbourne Storm Games Development Officer and Victoria Women's head coach. Mr. Rex Davey of Auckland for services to rugby and the community. Rex Davey is former president of the Waitakere Rugby Football Club. He chaired the club's steering committee to develop a new sporting complex for West Auckland. He sat on the Waitakere Stadium Development Board and is a trustee of the Trust's arena. He was a Te Atatu Rugby Club committee member and club delegate to Auckland Rugby Union. He was a coach and selector for several Auckland and Te Atatu teams. He managed development squads to Argentina, England and Scotland, as well as several Auckland teams and the New Zealand Barbarians. Mr. Davey was president of the Te Atatu Rotary Club and district chairperson of the Rotary Student Exchange Program. Mr. Tanu Ngango of Auckland for services to art and the LGBTIQ+ community. Tanu Ngango is the co-founder and creative director of Pacific LGBTIQ+ arts collective FAFSWAG. He has worked as an artist, a producer for theatre, film and live events, and a curator of queer Pacific arts. He is the Pacific Community Engagement Coordinator for the New Zealand AIDS Foundation. With the AIDS Foundation, he established the Love Life Whanau Charitable Trust Board, which supports Pacific LGBTIQ+ community development goals. He has been part of the Creative New Zealand Arts and Advocacy Board and Auckland Council's Pacific Arts and Culture Program Board, and an advisor for Pacifica Festival. With Piki Films, RESN and New Zealand On Air, Mr. Ngango launched the website faswagvogue.com. Mrs. Vinka Lucas of Auckland for services to the fashion industry and design. Vinka Lucas began her career with a small dressmaker's business in Hamilton. She moved her business to Auckland and, with her husband, established New Zealand's first bridal magazine, Bridal Annual. Further publications followed, and she established a pattern-making service which was coupled with the wholesale of the fabrics and laces she used to create her collections. These innovations grew the Mari de Maru label into a household name. Mrs. Lucas brought New Zealand design to international attention via her Air New Zealand air hostess uniforms and costumes for international pageants. Her work is held in major collections nationally, and she is a key subject of scholarly research on New Zealand fashion. Mrs. Tukua Turia of Auckland for services to Cook Island arts and culture. Tukua Turia is a taunga tivaivai, an expert in the art of tivaivai, traditional Cook Island quilt making. Her work has been collected by Te Papa Tongarewa, and she is routinely commissioned by the Cook Islands Consulate to create gifts for dignitaries. She is a member of the Kuki Aireni Creative Mamas, a group of Cook Island women based in Mangere who gather for weekly activities. She led the group in a collaboration with fashion designer Karen Walker that was displayed at the Commonwealth Fashion Exchange exhibition at Buckingham Palace. Mrs. Turia has tutored students in Tivaivai at the University of Auckland, Massey University, and the Mangere Cook Islands Elderly Group. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mrs. Marilyn Glover of Auckland, for services to the community and education. Marilyn Glover has held a number of leadership roles within the Takapuna Rotary Club, including President and Secretary. She has served on the boards and committees of Takapuna Kindergarten, Hauraki Primary School, Belmont Intermediate School and Takapuna Grammar. As chairperson of the Wilson School Board of Trustees, she led the fundraising and construction of the new playground for Wilson School, which specialises in educating young people with physical disabilities. She also volunteered with Adults in Motion, Age Concern and Auckland North Community and Development. Mrs. Glover is Treasurer of the Friends of Takapuna Library. Mr. Derek Williams of Auckland for services to the Welsh community and athletics. Derek Williams has held administrative roles with the Welsh Club and Welsh Society in Auckland. He has been Secretary and President of the Auckland Multicultural Society. He was a founder member of the Auckland Welsh Club Choir and a member of the Auckland Welsh Folk Dance Group that participated in the opening ceremony of the 1990 Commonwealth Games. He has coached rugby, cricket, athletics and gymnastics and was part of the Auckland Secondary School's athletics management team to several North Island championships. Since retiring, Mr. Williams has been a volunteer coach and a Waitakere City Athletics Club Committee member. Your Excellency, the investiture is concluded.
An investiture ceremony is the most important event I hold on behalf of Her Majesty, the Queen of New Zealand. It allows me, as Governor-General, to recognise and thank an extraordinary group of people on behalf of all New Zealanders. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by service to their communities or by their leadership in diverse fields of endeavour, or their commitment to excellence in their field of expertise. Our recipients have set a fine example to others, encouraging them in their own endeavours. To the recipients, it's been a privilege to hear your stories today. You have demonstrated determination, commitment, and compassion in your daily lives. In your own way, each of you has helped make New Zealand a better place to live. In some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your work has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we have heard reflect the spirit of the words of the American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said, "The purpose of life is not just to be happy, it's to be useful, to be honourable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well." Your contributions have enriched the cultural, social and economic fabric of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your communities appreciate and value your work and are inspired by your example. On behalf of the Queen and the people of New Zealand, I congratulate you on your achievements and I thank you for your service to our country. Kia ora hui tātou katoa. Ladies and gentlemen, that almost brings to a close the formal part of our ceremony today. Before we break for refreshments, can I ask you to stand and we'll sing our national anthem in Māori and in English, and the words are on the back of your program.
Hear our